Testing. Okay. The previous system shut down at 10:44 was unexpected. So, 10:01, the last thing I had was Microsoft Defender Antivirus was terminated. It has done this 6 times. Restart. 60,000 milliseconds would be 60 seconds in 1 minute. That was at 10:01. So that would be 10:02:15. So I don't think it was Defender. Then event log, all we get is the previous system shutdown at 10:44 was unexpected. Go to the details. And what do I see? Nothing useful. Volume manager. Dump file generation succeeded. So I got a dump. Where is it? Then I got critical kernel power. The system has rebooted without cleanly shutting down first. This error could be caused if the file system stopped responding, crashed, or lost power unexpectedly. Bug check. The computer has rebooted from a bug check. The bug check was that. I had a MIDI dump. Now, I have to check those. Service Control Manager. The driver has been blocked from loading. Then what? The game input terminal was produced with a newer version of storage. This is all after the crash because 10:44 was when the crash happened. I rebooted. I think this is the reboot, either at 10:46 or 10:48. Why? Because fun. Like, I can't work if the machine is going to shut down every fucking 30, 40 minutes. Right here, kernel power. Right here, this is what happened. Bug check code 10. I want to know about this. It's going to be in one of these areas. All right. Now, that's in the system log, administrative event log. It might be, it could be MetaQuest Remote Desktop. That's why I deleted that shit. That was 1053, right? 1054 side by side DLL issues. Microsoft Windows Common Controls. CapCut. The fuck? I did install CapCut. That's some scary shit. But that is one of the last things I did was install that. Fuck. All right. Let me get a browser. This is the shit you don't want to have to do. But this is the kind of shit that you could get fired for. What do you mean? It's preventing you from working. Right? Let's say you go to, usually there's some repository on your job, right? What you install the applications and then, I don't know, something happens where you need to go get the latest. And you get something on your machine and you spend 3 days trying to fix that shit. And you had a story that was worth 2 points. And they're like, what happened? Machine wouldn't stay up for more than 30 minutes at a time. Restore point. Okay. So that's why they don't want you installing random shit at work, for sure. Unless you're virtual prototyping, of course. Then you'll find some incompatibilities. YouTube. No, not YouTube. I gotta hurry up because they're getting ready to complicate matters with another crash soon. Google. Side-by-side app crashes. Let me bookmark this shit. I really don't want to do all this shit, but my machine is totally unstable right now. BSOD crash debug. This shit doesn't refresh automatically either, Microsoft. This fucking browser shit. You gotta be kidding me, man. Will you fucking refresh? Hello. Add the current page. I don't feel like it. I really don't feel like it. I don't feel like this shit. Is CapCut in the browser tab right now? Isn't that a web app? I'm actually paying them. But see, that's the thing. I didn't remember which app. Like, if I hit that, is that going to crash the whole system? All right. That is one of the most recent things that I did. I can't remember when the instability started because I also installed Meta's desktop shit, and they keep trying to push an update. So I would like to know if that is the culprit also. But going back to application, I got side-by-side error several times. 11:10. So I just launched CapCut and I got side-by-side issues. I've got two manifests. One must be x86 and AMD 64. And what's the other one that I don't expect to see? ARM, right? Because I'm not on a ARM device. You know, a mobile phone or whatever else. So Windows Common Controls, $10.54 was when that application. See, at 10:54 I had my crash. 10:53 I had an app error from MetaQuest Remote Desktop. I'm kind of inclined to think this is the problem, but seeing the CapCut error is also not heartening because it's around the same time. I'm thinking it was MetaQuest, but there's the side by side. So those two are conflicting. AMD 64 and x86. I'm thinking that I probably want to get rid of this component one, x86, because I'm on a AMD 64 processor, right? But I know I'm on a 64-bit system. I'm not sure if I'm AMD or Intel. DX9i, Windows Plus, Intel. That shit fucks with me. Intel versus AMD 64. I'm not sure 64-bit will always report as AMD 64. Can't take that lightly. But this x86 should be 32-bit architecture. So now there's ambiguity involved as well. So now let's see. Let's go to Copilot. And then they broke this shit. Copilot has a new home. Now I got the Copilot app. I don't want a fucking separate app. Look at it's 3 clicks already to get Copilot. I have an Intel 64-bit i9 1300 no one yeah 13 is it a 1900 or 13,000 KF some shit or something like that. Can it run this? Not sure about Intel versus AMD 64. Now, go find out shit that I would have to Google for hours. That's the one thing I like about AI. It is a 13900KF. Your Intel Core i9 13900KF processor is a powerful 64-bit processor, so it should be capable of running CapCut and other demanding applications. However, the error you're encountering seems to be related to conflict between 32-bit x86 and 64-bit AMD 64 versions of a component. Here are a few steps you can try to resolve this issue. Uninstall and reinstall CapCut. Sometimes a fresh install can fix these kinds of issues. Make sure to uninstall CapCut completely before reinstalling from a trusted source like the Microsoft Store. Update Visual C++ redistributables. Ensure that you have the latest versions of Microsoft Visual C++ redistributables installed. You can download them from the official Microsoft website. Run System File Checker. Open Command Prompt as an administrator and run the following command. This will scan for and replay any corrupted system files. Check for Windows Update. It is up to date. I looked earlier. Contact CapCut support. Okay, now I'm troubleshooting crash. At about the same time, I get the following in my event logs. CMD. I really don't want to be doing this, but I don't want to be doing work and this fucker keeps crashing out from under me. Why is this shit bouncing around? This fucking captain. It's like, oh man, what the fuck? They can't even zoom in without fucking up. What the fuck? Windows Resource Protection did not find any integrity violations. So which of the two? Which of the two applications is the culprit? It seems to be associated with the MetaQuest remote desktop exe application. The error message indicates that the faulting module is for messaging.dll, which is a system library used by many applications for messaging and event handling. However, the presence of this fault in the event logs at the same time as your VSP crash suggests that the issue may lie with the MetaQuest remote desktop app, as it appears to be the one triggering the fault. Here are the relevant details from your log. Faulting application, faulting module name. The other application you mentioned, CapCut, might also have its own issues, but based on the provided faulting information, the MetaQuest remote desktop seems to be the more likely culprit. Since you've already run the system file checker with no issues found, I recommend focusing on MetaQuest remote desktop. Try updating, reinstall the application, or checking for the driver updates that might be affecting you. Are there known issues? for the MetaQuest remote desktop app recently. Yes, there have been some recent reports of BS with major MetaQuest developer. Users have reported encountering various problems, including crashes and installation issues, particularly on Windows 11. Okay, I'm not using an ARM-based CPU then. What about x64 processors? Does it launch a service? I'm not actively trying to run it. Does launch a background service called Oculus Remote Desktop Service. This service gets sometimes started automatically or even you're not actually using the app. Some users reported that this service can cause issues, including VSOP. Services.msc. Well, I uninstalled it, so I guess they took it down. I want to make sure that the Quest is using this because I do have an Oculus Rift. I'm not sure if I ever ran it on this machine. I also make sure I know what's going on my box. Both of them use the OVR service. Nah, not at this time. And what about this one? All right, so it's used for the Quest 3 also. But the other one, okay, those are the only two I see. Now, I mean, I didn't. It hasn't crashed yet. All right, so now CapCut. What? Okay. Explain common controls are UI elements. Common controls are standard UI user interface elements provided by Windows. These include things like buttons, checkboxes, text boxes, scroll bars, and other standard elements that are commonly used in applications to create consistent and familiar interfaces. The conflict you're seeing in the logs is likely due to different versions of these common controls being required by different applications or components. This can sometimes cause issues if the versions are not compatible with each other. Would you like to delve into this? Yeah. Well, in case it seems we have x86 and AMD 64 manifests which contain or define common controls. Yes, that's correct. The error message you're seeing indicates a conflict between the x86 and AMD 64 manifests for Microsoft Windows common controls. These manifests define the common UI elements used by application, and having conflicting versions can cause issues like side-by-side error you're encountering. Would you like some steps to resolve this? You'd rather go. Oh, wait, before we go there, it we want to understand more about SBS or SXS. I thought a I thought both manifests could be present side by side, or DLLs for that matter, and apps would pick up the one they need. Can you detail the process and suggest what's going on afterward? I don't want no fucking run this, do that shit. And then, like, next time you ever see it again, you don't even remember what the fuck's going on. Why did that happen? Especially if you're writing an app. Great question. Side by side manifests are used to manage different versions of shared libraries, dynamically linked libraries in Windows. They're shared. Now, that shit, it's got to be system level libraries. I don't think they're distributed with the app, but interesting though. They help ensure that applications use the correct versions of a DLL. even if multiple versions are installed on the system. Here's a brief overview of how it works. How side-by-side manifests work. Assembly identity. Each S/X manifest contains an assembly identity, right? And assemblies would be signed, right? So you don't get some nefarious bullshit on your machine, which includes the name, version, and public private keys token of the assembly. This helps Windows identify the correct version of the DLL. Check. File dependencies. The manifest lists the DLLs that the application depends on. So it is a definition, not the DLLs themselves, right? So the DLLs are installed when I install my machine, right? Well, some bring their own DLLs along with them when you install the app, but the system common controls should be provided by Windows. The manifest lists the DLLs that the application depends on, along with their versions. So now we got versioning in there, and we've got public keys, and we got identities for assemblies, right? Now, if they're available on your machine, they should get picked up. So now, having two manifests, now those manifests are provided by the application. Why? Because, hey, somebody wrote the application and they're saying we're expecting some common controls. So CapCut is looking for common control DLLs that are obviously native code because they're Visual C++ redistributables, right? So if you install a C++ redistributable on your machine, then you should get the DLLs that CapCut is taking a dependency on. Now, the CapCut that's on my machine, since I'm on a 64-bit architecture, should be saying, okay, everything I need is where? Okay, go look at the AMD 64 manifest for Windows Common Controls. Now, are they on the machine? They may not be, or they may not be at the appropriate version. And then maybe it says, well, okay, maybe I fall back and I go look for x86 versions. And it looks at the x86 manifest that's associated with CapCut. I don't know why, if I install CapCut, I have two different versions of the manifest, but if they were, I would think they would be in two separate folders, the x86 folder and the AMD 64 folder. And if they detect that I'm on a 64-bit machine, then you would think they would only try to load that. So the only thing I could think is that maybe the Visual C++ redistributable that they require is not on the machine. So another question pops up. Because I know DLL hell, this is like DLL hell light, right? Back in the day, applications were bringing along and installing and overriding dependencies of other applications, right? And then you install an application that says, oh, well, I got, the same DLL for the common controls, but it's at some different version. This also led to the whole semantic versioning thing too, right? People like trying to freaking, how do we stop applications breaking the whole machine or other applications when they install the dynamic link libraries that they need, right? It's like, wait, this thing just basically downgraded, and if you install an earlier version that has a bug in it or doesn't have some method, external method defined. And then the one that had what the other applications needed, it got clobbered. So now it's like either running some obsolete code or a newly added method that they have a dependency is no longer there. Or maybe they can't run with the latest shit, right? There's a whole thing. So they said, oh, we need to be able to do side-by-side DLL installs. So then now we have identifiers and public keys and all that. We're trying to protect, everybody else's application that got installed on your machine from the latest dude to make an installation, right? So you can have 10 versions of, some DLL side by side with all the other versions, and all the applications define what they want in the manifest file. And as long as you've installed the redistributable to distribute those Windows DLLs, C++ native code in this case, x86 or AMD 64 architecture, onto your machine, then the application goes looking for it in its manifest, and those get loaded at runtime and linked, right? Dynamically. And then the application runs off happy and says, oh, I got checkboxes and lists and all of this shit. I'm good to go. But right now, I don't understand why that error for CapCut is listing 2 manifests when I'm on a 64-bit machine. I don't understand why they even concern themselves with the x86 version, and that's why I'm asking these questions. So, all that to say what? I need to continue reading. File dependencies. The manifest lists the DLLs that the application depends on along with their versions. There you go. What version of the DLL do you want? Activation context. When the application starts, Windows creates an activation context based on the side-by-side manifest. This content ensures that the application uses the correct versions of the DLLs listed in the manifest. The application context. Manifest search order. Here we go. Now, Windows searches for the required DLLs in a specific order. 1. Link. It first looks for embedded manifests within the application executable. Then for external manifests in the same directory. And finally, in the system directories. So you can embed it in the application. You can install it in the directory side by side with the application executable, or it'll fall back to looking for a system manifest. Now, possible issue with CapCut. In your case, it seems like there's a conflict between the x86 and AMD 64 manifest for Microsoft Windows Common Controls. This can happen if an application or component requires different versions of the same DLL. Here's what might be happening. Conflicting versions. The x86 and AMD 64 manifests are pointing to different versions of the Common Controls DLL. Well, I would expect that, right? This can cause the side-by-side error you're seeing. Manifest priority. By default, Windows prefers embedded manifests inside the application over external manifests. If the conflicting manifests are embedded in different components, Windows might be picking the wrong version in the application context process, right? Suggested steps. Check manifest. Review the manifest for CapCut and any related components to see if they are correctly configured. All right. When we say and any related components, I'm like, well, CapCut.exe might have some DLLs in its install directory, which would be components, and somebody's looking for, I guess each component has its own manifest. So I'd like to go look at that install directory too. Update CapCut. Ensure you have the latest version of CapCut installed, as updates might include fixes for manifest conflicts. Reinstall CapCut. Registry. Now, I'm not fucking with my registry for CapCut. That's some bullshit. But you can modify the registry to change the manifest search order, add a double word value name, preferred external manifest to HKey local machine software, Microsoft Windows, current version side by side, and set it to 1. Why? Because that's a generic setting for every side by side DLL of a machine. Everybody would be impacted by that. Let me go clarify that one. So, that's pretty. Hey, wouldn't this affect every app on my machine? You're absolutely right. Modify the registry setting to change the manifest search order can indeed affect every application on your machine. This change would force all applications to prefer external manifests over embedded ones, which might resolve the conflict for CapCut, but could potentially cause issues for other apps. Hey man, just throw that machine away and get a new one. What the fuck did you do? I don't know. I forgot. I can't find it. Somebody told me to change some shit in the registry. you gotta watch AI, man. That's some fucking bullshit right there, man. That's like the most dangerous recommendation you can, and they just said it so casually. Given its potential impact, it's important to proceed with caution. Here are a few alternative steps. Reinstall CapCut. That's safer. Take that shit off your machine and start over. Check the event viewer. Isolate the problem. Delete that shit. Clean boot environment. What the fuck? I'm not doing all that shit. What I'm going to do is say, hey, what's the latest release of CapCut? Oh, it's not talking to me no more. Bike dads. Maybe they pushed that shit out because 4.8. No, it's 4.8 stars. Download. Keep. Save as. D-downloads. They gave me the Donald Trump version of fucking. Nah, I guess Biden. The United States version of CapCut. Let's see if I run the installer, if it's going to give me ability to uninstall previous version. Something went wrong. refresh this page. All right, let's go to see if I got it still running. All right, let's first check the version we have. Pro viewing details. This fucker doesn't even want to respond. View details. What? All I want is the fucking version, bitch. Do y'all have an about? What the fuck? Version 5.5. Oh, check for updates. Fix some known issues. All right, give me the new one. So far, I haven't. I don't want to say it. I haven't crashed. I'm cold. I'd rather be hot right now. That cold feeling is not good. Restart. Restart my machine or restart CapCut. All right, turn this off. Hide downloads. All of this is work that I didn't want to do, but at least uh, I already purchased this bitch. What are you fucking talking? 5.6. Kill it. If I launch it again, will you open 5.6? I don't know. Whoa. Let me turn on notifications. We'll see what happens. Bubba is going to spam me, and then I'm going to turn that off. Okay. Version 5.6. Good. Close it. I'm not dealing with CapCut right now. Okay. But I will be. It's very important piece of the puzzle here. I'm making a video after all. All right, now let me kill this window. I'll keep Copilot app around. I know the service. What? Don't change. Don't change. Close. Close. All right, now let's go look at my latest logs. What time is it? 12:02. That was 11:10. All right, so right now I'm going to clear the log. Will I regret it? All right, let's not. Well, I'd like to delete this. Nope, apparently it can't. 2-4. Let's go learn what just happened. Activation context generation failed for error manifest a policy file. The component version required. I think I need to remove that. That just happened, so they didn't fix this error, basically, is what I'm hearing. Distributed common object model? What the fuck is that about? Class ID, app ID. That's Microsoft Copilot. I'm not gonna fuck with Copilot. That must have been when I launched Copilot. But that's the side by side. Like, this is some shit that you normally wouldn't even know happened. Right? Because most people are not in here looking at the event viewer. But now that I know that it's happening, and it was confusing me as to whether or not they were the culprits for my crash, I would like to finalize fixing CapCut so I don't have that in my log. And this service control manager shit, Microsoft Antivirus Defender, I think this is somewhat ignorable. And the same thing here. Like, ignorable things that are errors, spamming the log, make it difficult to find the real culprit. That's why I limited everything to 1 hour. And then I clear the logs and then I wait because I don't want to go searching for the fix for every possible thing that could be logged if they're ignorable errors. You would hope that application developers would prevent some of this shit, especially if they're Windows. Like Microsoft Defender antivirus service terminated unexpectedly. It has done this one time. The following corrective action will be taken. Restart the service. Like, okay, you probably do want to know that kind of shit. It is an error, but like, what can you do? Like, you could say, well, I don't want to look at it. And that's why I was filtering 7031, 7033. Like, I could go filter all of that out, but I won't. But this side by side, I could probably fix. Does the CapCut website have a fix for this? So I'm back to this shit. All right, so now I'm straight up into Google Ads. What version? Do I have depends on here? Nope. Power PC. Well, I haven't seen this motherfucker forever. Windows 11 dependency locker. Good luck. Now that's a good question. Am I on x64? Intel Architecture 64. Copilots. I think I'm looking for x64. Thank you. Fuck all that. Give me the folder. Should I want to put percent home bin? But now they got me. I haven't been doing this shit for so long. I'm gonna have to do percent user profile. Okay, right here for now. Where's CapCut? Can I just take that and pop it in? And while I wait, seemingly forever, understanding that there are so many DLLs of this bitch. They have their own install of FFmpeg. That's good to know. Seven zip. Everything they think they need, they got. And that's why the dependency walker is taking for fucking ever. But look, Microsoft Visual C plus Visual CP 120, 140, 141, 142, 140 codec, Visual C redistributable, Visual C redistributable, MS star. Okay, so that dependency shit's taking forever, right? So now I want to go up a level. Here's 5.5. Here's version 5.6. Here's CapCut EXE. Now that's crazy. Why? Because it's up a level over these two. They're using Qt framework, so it's definitely written in C++. That's the ugliest, evilest shit on the planet. I hate the way they handle lists and Qt. All right. Now, CapCut EXE, 85 kilobytes. So why do we have a CapCut EXE at a higher level, which is 1538K? And I'm not going to look at 5.5, but and I couldn't tell you. Oh, I know what I can do. All right. So I want to open Visual Studio Code here. So let's go up a level. Open with code. Interestingly, I have two instances popped open. Trippeth me out. But this is the stuff that I was doing. I don't want to lose that anyway. Keep that around. Now, back over here. Control J. Terminal, please. History. LS. MS star dealer. All right. Redirect that. I don't have to. Copies. Control C. Copilot. I'm looking for Oh, there it is. Please explain these. Okay, so now we're looking at these files, right? Sure, these files are all related to the Microsoft Visual C++ redistributed libraries, which are required to run applications built with Visual C++. Here's a brief explanation of each. Part of Microsoft Visual C++ 2013 redistributable package. It contains the runtime components needed to run C++ applications. What? C++ 2013. So they know based on that version. This one is part of the Microsoft 2015 redistributable package, right? An additional runtime library may be required by some applications built in 2015. Code CVT, code conversion library. Part of the Microsoft 23 redistributable package, which fundamental component for running C and C++. The C runtime library, MSVC runtime, Microsoft Visual C or C++ runtime. So what I'm gathering, well, let's tell them what I'm thinking. So what I'm thinking, Capca distributes its own redistributable dependencies. And we still get a compliment. It's puzzle Capca includes its own redistributable dependencies to ensure it has the necessary runtime libraries for its operation. However, the manifest conflict your experience suggests but there might still be an issue with how these dependencies are being managed or referenced by the system. Well, that's what's there. Okay, because I'm not gonna fuck with it. I'm gonna ignore the errors because I don't think it's the culprit for the crash. I think it was meta, and I have run out of desire to track CapCut's bullshit down. I gave them more time than I really want to. So I probably can't get rid of those errors. It's not on me. Like, what user? I always have to ask, what user is going to do that? Looks like dependency had errors. Error opening the system cannot find file specified. API query, a bunch of shit. We got a long list of dependencies, but has nothing to do with the manifest. Well, I guess they got that out of the manifest. Qt version 6. I used Qt5, I think. Shit, how long ago was that? 2014? Never going back to that shit. The first time I see a list in Qt, I would flip. Brain would shut down. But oh man, I think I might have thrown the Qt books away. I might have given that fucker away. Half price books. Here. I hated it. I don't really like UI development in any language, I think is what the issue is. Buttons and lists. Why? That's the main thing. Buttons, I don't care. You know, it's no big deal. Drop downs, that's kind of okay. It's tables, grids, tables, mapping your data model to the fucking UI and implementing sorting, searching, filtering. Qt was the most cumbersome that I've ever seen for that. The most convoluted, crazy bullshit ever known to man, syntactically speaking. Okay, so, but you know, in the modern era, I guess you just tell AI to fucking, here's the data model, build me a Qt fucking class to display this, providing sorting. I should do that as, no, I should not. I should do that as an exercise one day. Let's see if it hallucinates. Let's see if this melts down the AI. And we want to checkbox in this column. And, it's like you start making that shit. We want to edit. We want CRUD operations. Just thinking about it makes me want to retire. I don't know. There are certain things that I hate. I forgot that I hate Qt just probably as much as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Yeah, web development. Why? Because none of that's what I wanted to ever do. I just wanted to stick with 3D graphics my whole career, but I got pulled into all kinds of everything else bullshit. But there's some people that just love that shit. I don't know, man. Like, the fuck? You want to be a web developer? Oh, oh shit. Well, let me tell you. Don't go walking, Charlie Chaplin, Shanghai. You walking along the pier and the motherfuckers pop you over the head and you wind up on a junket headed to fucking JavaScript land. Untyped with some Z index bullshit in the DOM. You're looking around like, what the fuck happened to me, man? I'm a fucking engineer. I was a hardware engineer, graphics hardware. And now I'm fucking looking at Z indexes and some fucking dynamically typed object shit. Talking about looking for what the worst of it, asynchronous programming before they even had libraries for that shit. We want a category search. Categories with subcategories with subcategories with subcategories. And we want to be able to drill down through all of these subcategories in Java server pages. That shit was a headache. When was that? That's circa 2001. You click on it and it's got to go fucking filter through all that shit and update the UI and shift it in HTML and JavaScript. And then you get it there, and then the tester comes back. Yeah, I was multi-clicking on a shit. And before the result set came back, I must have clicked on something else that wasn't displayed. It's like you're trying to lock out the UI and shit, waiting for all of these asynchronous operations to complete. It's like, what the fuck? I think that's when I first learned that I hated web development. It's different when you're throwing some buttons on the screen and you got an image carousel. When you start doing a lot of back-end database queries fetching and dynamic UI updates and fucking JavaScript. There be dragons. Then I decided, fuck that. Server side, I've already seen it. Why? The server's easy. REST, then we went into REST. And then it got even better, but not too many people adopted Almost had it. Wow. What's the name of that shit? Where you could define the shape of the result that you want in the query. GraphQL. I'm sure there's a lot of teams using that shit now. But I lost interest in all that sort of development. It's like strictly just want to stick back with 3D and get out. Like AR, VR, retire. It's basically where I am mentally. Get back into my graphics career and say, hey, I started in graphics hardware, low level shit. I ended in graphics software, client facing and user experience shit. All right. Even if it's infrastructure, right? Prep all of the content for display. I really want to add the interactivity to the content. Like, give me a user story. Okay. User walks up to the virtual kiosk, clicks a button. This thing comes into view, it can be highlighted, user experience stuff, car configurator, right? Change the fucking PBR materials on the, vehicle when the user clicks this button. Open the door, close the door, drive and play this sound, down the mountain path in Isaacson, some shit like that, right? Digital twin VR development. The BMW experience, and you get that door sound. It's like, oh man, you hear that shit? It don't go clank. What happened? You closed the door on my fucking seatbelt latch and walked away. I'm giving you a 3. No, fuck that. A 1. There's no 0-star rating? Why? Because not only did you close the door on my seatbelt latch, but you left the back seat down. Now I got to reach way back and keep trying to push that seat till it clicks back in the fuck. Let me get out. Walk around, go and put the third row back. Click. Oh, fuck. Let me go ahead and yank on the seatbelt strap to put that back. Close the door, get back in and say, oh, shit. I didn't get a chance to rate the passenger. Oh, shit. Go home. Let me open the log. What ride was that? Asshole. No, I'm just joking. I should go back and find Michelle. I know that was Michelle. That's the ride. Was it Michelle? No, I don't think it was Michelle. I gotta go. You gotta go open my app and say, oh, fuck my fucking. Some people just don't have any common courtesy at all. You could tell. If the ride set, you're driving Lyft, right? The music's of a Lyft driver. We don't have a whole lot to think about other than, try to keep other people off of us while we're out on the road. Some people are fun and, good conversationalists, they have any good mood, they just want to talk. Maybe you got a talker. Sometimes you get people who don't really want to talk. They just want to sit on their phone. I kind of like those rides too, because then I just have my smooth jazz playing and I'm like thinking about what I'm going to do later or some shit. But some people you can tell that not only are they not a talker, they just got a bad demeanor when they show up. It's like, oh, fuck. it's not just silence, it's just some kind of weird silence. It's like, okay. I wonder what this fide's going to be like and shit. Dealing with the populace. It's like an emotional roller coaster out there sometimes. Some people get in there way hyped. And then they want to do requests, and then you'd be listening to the lyrics of this shit. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Damn, next song, please. Then there's some people you wish never would get out. They're like providing the driver entertainment. They might have some interesting things to relate on their vacation or, just some random shit. It's funny. It's like you never know what you're going to get when you pull out. It's like, fuck. Then some people want you to be the entertainment. I'm like, I'm the fucking driver. This shit. You didn't pay for a ride in the show. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? I gotta jump through hoops and shit. Driver. Chicken George and shit. Driving Miss Daisy. A lot of red text on my screen. Okay, back to this shit. Looking at dependencies for CapCut. I'm looking for Visual C redistributable. But it's not telling me. It's telling me the version. And okay, well, but since we're here, even oh man. Okay, so here. Basic iOS. What? No, what? Oh, input output stream. I was like, what does iOS stand for? iPhone OS? I never really thought of it. You always just say iOS but this has nothing to do with iPhone. This is standard library functions with the return types, a char, struct, or parameters. Then here's the return type, return void. Standard character traits for character. Struct. Basic. Gibberish. Let's get one that looks like it. All right. Yarn. A Y character type returns void. Looking at this as a destructor. Looking at that signature, it's fucking crazy. I'm looking for the brackets. Okay, there they are. This is the last closing one. This is standard character trace char, struct, comma. This is a char struct. Standard character. Shit. That's what AI is for today. You just copy paste that and ask it to break that shit down until you remember. Okay. Why? Well, first of all, this was like a C type char destructor this looks like it might take void. That might be an empty parameter list. Code convert unsigned short. These might be input parameter and return time. I forget. Well, here's another destructor that takes. I think takes no arguments. Standard. This is scope resolution operator. Standard library in the locale. I don't know. You could call it a package or whatever, and then facet class. Okay, yep, that's what that is. I got the first half. Standard locale facet, the class. Why? Because this is this facet destructor, and I think return type is void. Now I want to find one that takes, and these are operators. Equal operator. A reference to a reference. This looks like class standard LOSB int reference is the return type for standard LOSB int operator equals operator. And then in parentheses, class standard LOSB int reference. I think this is like the right hand side. Wow. I can't believe the gibberish that you learn and actually deal with. Now, but this is looking at it from, the dependency function view. But it very closely resembles what you're actually looking at if you're in the library level looking at this shit. Most of us don't write this kind of syntax. But you certainly need to know virtual function tables. It's like I haven't looked at this level of code, this low shit in a long time. C++ is serious gibberish. When you're looking at library headers files and shit like that. But this looks like worse than what I would see in a header. But when you do need to look at it, all those symbols, you go and work it out. Like, I don't want to take the most complicated one, but you could like grab one IO stream, a basic input output stream. I just double clicked it and then went to Microsoft Docs. But what I was trying to do was get to a detail view or something. Can I copy that? Copy. Select all. Nope. 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 Let's copy this one. Let's say copy function name. And then you go to Copilot and you say explain. Paste. Certainly the expression is from C++ standard library, and it involves some templated classes and variables. Here's a breakdown of each part. All right, standard basic output stream, Y character type, standard character traits, Y character type. Standard basic output stream. This is a template class in C++ standard library for output stream objects. It is the base class for output stream classes like standard O stream and standard Y output stream. WCHAR-T standard char traits YCHAR-T. This is the template specification for standard basic output stream. Here, WCHAR-T is used as the character type instead of the default char, meaning this stream handles Y characters. Standard char traits WCHAR-T provides character traits specific to WCHAR-T. Standard pointer WC error. Standard pointer WC error. This is likely pointed to an object of type standard basic output stream WCHAR-T standard char traits WCHAR-T. It is used for Y character error output. The specified naming convention with pointer suggests it may be an implementation detail, often a pointer to the implementation, so you can swap them out. Often beginning with the underscore and the standard library, putting it all together. Yeah, but that's what you do. It's like instead of having to go to the tomes, the big old fucking manual somewhere, plus any books you bought from Barnes and Noble. I guess Amazon now. C++ programming. Esoteric shit. Then you go down the hall to the dude that he seldomly bathes. He's got a beard down to his knees, and you want to know the answer. Excuse me. I got a question. Hold on a minute. I got a question for you about some serious esoteric C++ shit. Library level, the shit that we don't write usually. You're still using green phosphorus, I see. What's this? Oh, that's a punch card reader. Don't trip over the paper tape, please. Oh. Okay. What you running back here? Oh, we're working on that MVS machine. You ever seen a PDP-11? Oh my God. What's this? Oh, that's a disk pack. What's up, baby? I woke you up. Don't mind me. I'm melting down. I'm looking at some cryptic runes. Go to sleep. Just past your bedtime. You should be here. Okay. Fuck that. Close that shit. CapCut. I'm not fixing it. I don't care about the dependencies. And they took too much out of me. I looked at it. What? You want some attention? You want back up? You can't go outside. No, no such thing. You heard that word. You know that word, don't you? No, no. Go sleep. Go sleep. Oh. All right. Well, my machine hasn't crashed, and I don't think it's gonna crash anymore. She's confused. You want to go in a crate? Crate? Oh, she's begging for attention now. All right. Well, I fixed the crash. I'm not, I looked at too much detail to be creative right now. So I'm gonna call that success for my first night. I don't shh. I don't think I really have it to go do creative things. Let me close this. Will you stop barking at me? What? Now you're back. Come here. You won't let me get you. There's nothing going on out there, right? Did I close the door? I think I'm gonna put her on a leash and shh. I'm a walker. Maybe she's telling me that dinner kicked in. I fed her a little late. All right. Well, tomorrow I won't be doing this. I think I'm gonna leave my machine running and see if it crashes overnight. Yeah, I think she's really gotta go because she doesn't do this. She never does this. All right.